Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 169 based on novel. So let's start. In the dark night, the Mosha clansmen left Mingna City without a trace, returning to the automaton ship in the sky. Within the control room, Luo Feng sat in the sofa. His expression was cold, as he said softly, "Depart towards Swallow Mound City." The automaton ship immediately accelerated and headed towards Swallow Mound City. "What's up, Luo Feng?" The demon Barbata too sat in the sofa. Around 50 years ago, the Yudao sect was destroyed. Luo Feng frowned. The elite strength was simply wiped out and the entire sect was destroyed, and it was actually the earliest disciple of the sect that did it. About 30 years ago, a silver-haired spirit reader appeared and killed that culprit before leaving. "What about little Na-ku?" Demon Barbata asked. "According to what the two guards told me, I suspect that silver-haired spirit reader was Na-ku." Luo Feng said. "Back then, I left him spirit reader training methods. If my guess isn't wrong, Na-ku would very likely have headed towards Swallow Mound City." Demon Barbata nodded. The automaton ship was swiftly flying in the space above the Blood River world. One day later, it reached the space above the Swallow Mound territory. Following the same procedure, he left his core in his Earth body in the automaton ship. The Mosha clansmen dived through the cloud levels and headed towards Swallow Mound City. Night time. The cold winds howled, and in a forest 10 million kilometers outside Swallow Mound City, within a particular cave. Crackle. The fire crackled, giving the entire cave warmth. "Father." A tall silver-haired youth laid a mat on the ground. Some food appeared in his hand. "Let's eat. We fled so far in one go, and we are at least 10 million kilometers away from Swallow Mound City. And we never entered the city, remaining in the wilderness. Searching pointlessly for us won't be an easy task for them." An old-looking middle-aged man with messy silver hair nodded. Lifting his fruit juice and taking the food off the mat, eating as he smiled at the youth. His eyes were filled with pride and glee. Exclaiming, "Cuckoo, you are much more mature than before. For me to see you before I die, the heavens are treating me well. Speak, tell me how you suddenly vanished back then. I looked for you everywhere like a madman." "Father." The silver-haired youth shook his head. "This is how it all happened." Na-ku began to tell him in detail of what happened back then. Nabu listened with his eyes opened wide. I actually agreed for you to follow Lord Feng. And had him wipe my memories." Nabu was shocked, after which he smiled. I would indeed do that. Tell me, over these many years. Looking at you, you seem to have suffered quite a bit. The aboriginals of Blood River World were born ground-level, star traveler, and in the vast surroundings, it had resulted in many special bloodlines in the world. The Na family. The bloodline was special too. After maturing, their hair would turn silver. "It's like this, back then when Big Brother Feng took me." The silver-haired youth said indifferently. "That night I fled Meng Na City, I vowed to take revenge for my teacher. I bumped into another teacher at Tong Lian Mountain. I then separated from my two brothers and headed to Swallow Mound City alone. Arriving here, I controlled my bones and muscles to change my appearance. Plus, many of the warriors from back then couldn't recognize me. Since I'm a cloud level right now, with a scan, I discovered the family was destroyed, but she was still alive. I knew that it was a trap. Hence, I first entered the city leader's mansion to become a general, after half a year." Na-ku spoke for more than an hour before finally finishing his 80-year story. Nabu looked at the youth before him, seemingly in disbelief. This cautious, cunning and brutal youth was the same idol-worshipping, hot-blooded silly little Na-ku. His son had indeed experienced quite a lot. Meng Na City, Tong Lian Mountain, Flame Eye Clan, every bit of Na-ku's experiences, every life or death struggle, had completely trained him. "You've grown up," Nabu exclaimed softly. "The one I am most grateful for is Big Brother Feng." The silver-haired youth smiled. "He had prepared so much for me, and because of that, I was able to withstand each and every setback and stand back up. Finally reaching cloud level, however cloud level isn't my final goal. My goal is to reach the domain level and even the world level." Nabu nodded, pleased. His gamble back then was right. Within Swallow Mound City. City leader's mansion. You are saying you can't find him? The purple-clothed lady stood in the hall, coldly staring at the city leader Pu Yang Wen before her. Pu Yang Wen bowed slightly in fear. Yes, the subordinates, they. Explain. The purple-clothed seductive lady's eyes gleamed. It's the subordinates' mistake. I've already sent a 1,000,000-strong army to go search. Pu Yang Wen's head was filled with sweat, because he was only a low-level domain level while this lady before him was a high-level domain level, and she was also the world leader Sai Yong's favorite disciple. She could easily destroy him. And the only thing he was supposed to do was to keep an eye on Nabu. But, since he messed that up, how could he not be fearful? Idiot. Useless. The purple-clothed lady smiled coldly. 1,000,000-strong army. You said before that it was a problem with your general. That general was a cloud-level spirit reader. How fast is his flying speed? In just a breath, he can fly 10 million kilometers without a problem. Which direction should your 1,000,000-strong army fly in to search? Are you stupid? Pu Yang Wen was stunned. Get out, get out, get out. The lady raged. Yes. Pu Yang Wen retreated. He waited till he exited the building. His face originally filled with fear, but suddenly his eyes gleamed with dissatisfaction. Right, I am an idiot. If I weren't one before, why did you support me to becoming the city leader back then? Just wait, once my master gives the order, we'll see who's the real idiot is. Within the hall. The seductive lady glanced at Pu Yang Wen, shaking her head and smiling coldly. So useless, luckily back, then I didn't place any hopes on that idiot. The lady flipped her hand and a communication device appeared. A screen with a map displayed and there was a light dot on it. The lady smiled immediately. Who would stupidly keep an eye on him? Back then I doped him and put a chip into his already heavily injured body. Won't I always know his position then? The communication device, compared to the universe ship's construction, was trillions of times easier to make. Those sector lords had given these devices to their important underlings. The purple-clothed lady, as the right and left-hand woman of world leader Sai Yong, acquiring these communication devices was very easy. The distance is really 10 million kilometers. The lady smiled. I'm in no rush to catch them. I'll first observe. I am sure that silver-haired man will bring Nabu to go see that mysterious warrior Feng. The silver-haired seductive lady immediately sent a message to her teacher Sai Yong. Following which she flew out of the mansion alone, rushing into the sky in the night, headed towards Nabu and Naku. She is the strongest within Swallow Mound City. The activation of the Swallow Mound army, according to the investigation, is to look for Nabu and the silver-haired general. That silver-haired spirit reader general should be Naku. And that lady, flying out so late at night, she should know their location. A black silhouette followed the purple-haired lady from behind. Over 10 million kilometers, even if the purple-haired lady was a domain lord level 8 warrior, with Blood River World's strong gravity, she could only reach up to 1,000 kilometers per second. Even then, it would still take over 3 hours for her to arrive at the forest. I'll not alert him first. Teacher will be here soon, then we'll take the chance to catch Feng. That mysterious Feng, he actually dared to kill my 2 seniors and the Undying Shrine envoys, he deserves to die. The purple-haired lady stood on a branch of a 3 m thick huge tree, staring coldly into the distance, and completely hiding her presence. Domain lords were indeed proficient in hiding their presence. At this time, from behind her a black-clothed man stood. The purple-clothed lady seemed to realize something and looked back suspiciously. When she saw the black-robed Luo Feng in mid-air behind, her expression changed. Black-clothed. Black short hair. Youth. You are Feng. The lady's expression was serious, staring hard at the black-robed man. Looking for me? Congratulations, you found me. The black-clothed Luo Feng nodded. Her eyes flashed and immediately unleashed a spirit attack, simultaneously using a spirit weapon to attack. A beautiful flash of a blade. Its resplendence was intoxicating. The purple-clothed lady couldn't help but get shocked, following which her consciousness fell deep into darkness. The flash disappeared and Luo Feng kept his blood shadow blade back into his storage ring and grabbed the lady's neck. She had a small wound on her stomach. The blade went through the wound and pierced right through her life core, causing her death. In terms of power, after 80 years of training, his internal world had swallowed the large amounts of prepared valuable metals, efficiency rising to 52 times. 80 years was akin to over 4,000 years, and the Domain Lord level evolution 7, 8, 9 required 1,200 years. Domain Lord level 1 to Sector Lord level 1 required about 5,000 years. Currently, the Golden Horned Beast and Mosha Clansman were both Domain level 9. And in terms of power, not level, they were absurdly powerful. With the Mosha Clansman able to unleash 10 times its original power, it was terrifying. Who is it? In the cave, the silver-haired Naku's expression changed, standing at the entrance of the cave. It's me. The black-clothed Luo Feng walked over from mid-air, carrying the body of the purple-clothed lady. Feng, big brother Feng. The silver-haired Naku stared wide-eyed. Feng, Lord Feng. Nabu was very shocked too. The silver-haired youth looked at the body Luo Feng held, even more shocked. This is the third disciple of world leader Sai Yong, she. Black-clothed Luo Feng threw her body to the ground and said, "You are in danger now, the world leader Sai Yong is rushing over." Sai Yong. The silver-haired youth Naku and his father were at a loss. Sai Yong was the world leader of this side of the world, a being like an emperor. Sai Yong knows you are here and is rushing over. Luo Feng had discovered the purple-clothed lady's communicator after he killed her. Using his own AI to hack it, he was able to find out quite a lot. How were we discovered? I was very careful when I took my dad over. Naku was in disbelief. Because there's a chip in your dad's body. Luo Feng replied. What? Naku turned to look at his father. Nabu's face was filled with suspicion. Naku quickly used his spirit energy to scan his father's body, finally finding a little chip within the bone of his leg, immediately saying, "Father, bear with me, I'll extract the chip." Over his years of exploring, Naku had heard of the communication devices. Usually those equipped with them were all domain level. A black light swept past Nabu's leg and the device was immediately dug out. After which he used his spirit energy to pressure the wound, and with Nabu's body structure, this little wound was nothing. Luo Feng ordered the quantum computer, do a scan to see if there are any more devices in his body. Yes, master. The AI shot out a signal scan, confirmed, only one device and it's been extracted. Luo Feng looked at the father and son before him. Naku, Nabu, quickly leave. Ah, right. He flipped his hand and retrieved a space ring, tossing it to Naku. This is. Naku was stunned. Wealth. Luo Feng said. Since he was leaving Blood River World, the currency of this world had no more use to him. However, through his hunt, he had acquired quite a massive amount of wealth. The amount he was giving them right now was about 100 times that of a city leader. Luo Feng didn't even take out the rest. Too much wasn't a good thing for Naku. He had given enough. Hurry and leave. Luo Feng said. The further the better. As for Sai Yong, I'll stall him for you. Big brother Feng. Naku couldn't help but shout. Lord Feng, you. Nabu too couldn't believe it. Quickly go. Luo Feng frowned, shouting coldly. Naku and Nabu were after all clean law-abiding people that had been through much suffering. At this point, there wasn't much else to say. Naku immediately brought his father, stepping on a spirit weapon, and becoming a beam of light leaving. Watching the two leave, Luo Feng smiled. Little Naku, during my trip here in Blood River Continent, it was fate that made us meet each other. Your future depends on your own self now. Luo Feng said softly. After which he rushed into the skies and landed on the peak of a 1,000-meter tall mountain. Standing alone on top, gazing into the distant horizon, a domain lord has no challenge to me whatsoever, only a sector lord has some meaning. Come Sai Yong. Luo Feng stood there, the winds blew, he patiently waited. A silver-black disk appeared in the 15th cloud level above that mountain. According to the communication device coordinates, it's right here. Almost like the ocean blue, dressed in black armor, Sai Yong's lips were thin and cold. He vanished from the ship and became a black beam of light rushing downwards through the 15th, 14th. Right till the first cloud level heading towards that forest. Suddenly, he stopped in mid-air, frowning as he looked at the majestic peak of the mountain. There stood a black-clothed man. I'm called, he stared hard at him, Feng. Feng. Sai Yong unleashed his world energy, immediately discovering the purple-clothed lady's body, his facial muscles twitched, my disciple. Dead. The black-clothed man said coldly, I killed her. Yong's eyes were like lightning. Struggling, he roared, "You actually dare kill my disciples in my territory? You are but a small domain level. If you want to battle, cut the chatter, let's fight." The black-clothed man's eyes were piercing, filled with fighting spirit. Yong was taken aback. A domain level challenging a world level. What joke was that? After he was stunned, he turned to rage. "Ha ha, ha ha." Yong laughed, "Today will be your funeral." The cold mountain breeze howled. Luo Feng's blood, however, was burning and boiling. The blue-haired man before him was a sector lord. Just from his energy alone, he should be about sector lord 4 or 5. Domain level 9 challenging sector lord 4 or 5. And there was a breakthrough in between. Madness. Even the strongest genius of the universe wouldn't attempt something like that, because the level difference was too huge. Just strength alone was tens of times different. What's more, a sector lord could use a side of his world to pressure his enemy. Even if the enemy was strong, no one would be that crazy. Only Luo Feng dared to do something so insane. In terms of genius, he was now comparable to Bolin, the pinnacle of the universe humans. And right now he was a favored of space, the universe's strongest assassins, Mosha clansmen. Domain level 9 against a sector lord 4 or 5. Luo Feng stared ahead at Yong in mid-air, as his spirits were burning wildly. The two suddenly grew silent. One stood above the majestic peak, and one in mid-air. The two who faced off were completely silent. Rumble, suddenly the land and skies changed colors. The black-armored Yong floated in mid-air, his long hair flying, his gaze shooting out glaring beams of light. Laughing loudly, "You think you can fight me?" Immediately the mountain stones, including the mountain Luo Feng was standing on, began to crumble. Countless amounts of rubble rose up and floated in mid-air. A blur of stones floated all over. "Go." Yong pointed at Luo Feng, coldly ordering. Like a mad tornado, countless stones passed through space. This was tens of millions of times more crazy than 10 million arrows being shot, and all of them engulfed Luo Feng, almost as though it wanted to turn his entire body into a target. Yong was a sector lord level 5, even though he was controlling so many stones. Every one of them had the power to kill a domain lord level 9. Hence, with so many gathered, the power was terrifying. Using pure power to suppress his enemy. Rumble. Under the attacks of countless stones, the mountains crumbled and every one of them began to fall. Countless trees fell, the ripple from every stone's attack clashed time and again. Thousands of kilometers were affected by the countless high-powered ripples, decimating and razing the surroundings to the ground. "Your stones fly too slowly." A voice resounded. Yong turned fiercely, and on his left stood Luo Feng. He was shocked within, this punk Feng is so fast. His instantaneous speed is definitely much faster than me. Much faster. Use your real strength, otherwise killing you will be pointless. Luo Feng flipped his hand and a blood shadow blade appeared. He stared at his opponent, as his eyes burned with spirit. Luo Feng immediately rushed forward, his rushing speed was extremely quick. Even though he was prepared, Yong was still shocked. His options were limited, quickly projecting his internal world. The vast world energy immediately warped and changed everything within the 1,000 li area. The scenery changed. It was a destroyed mountain range in the night before. Now, however, it was an endless ocean. The water below even had an ice mountain. Luo Feng immediately felt the terrifying pressure, almost as though his entire body was shackled. This is the true power of a sector lord, the strongest trump card a sector lord can use against a domain lord, an entire world. Indeed, it's powerful. With the pressure of the world, all of my powers will decrease in strength. Luo Feng licked his lips, his eyes burning even more. This is thrilling, fighting with everything. Under the pressure of the world, over 10,000 Luo Fengs appeared in the air above the ocean. The appearance of the blur of images made Yong shocked. My God, even with my world pressure, he still can form over 10,000 images. His comprehension of the space laws, just what level has he reached? Yong was completely stunned. Not even mentioning Blood River World, even in the universe there were extremely few people of this level. A resplendent flash of a blade could be seen, which was extremely glaring and intoxicating. The moment it flashed, the surrounding space seemed to be subdued, and a formless space energy pressured on Yong's region. Through the space pressure, he was able to battle the world pressure. Just what level have his space laws reached? As Yong was shocked. One black and one white all appeared before him. The white all brought with it endless ice-cold energy, as the surroundings froze into ice and snow and attacked Luo Feng's blade. Luo Feng felt his body tremble, and fresh blood spurting out from his mouth. Simultaneously he shouted, "Illusion!" His body immediately became a blur, the surroundings became nothing but a blur of images. This made Sai Yong get even more serious. Suddenly a blur of silhouettes seemed to teleport right beside him. Simultaneously the brutal and powerful energy of a blade slashed right at Sai Yong. Block. Sai Yong retreated abruptly, simultaneously using the black awl to defend. The powerful blade actually knocked away the black awl, its strong slash sliced right at Sai Yong's neck. Rumble. 4 shields appeared beside Sai Yong's body, and they floated around him. Luo Feng's blade hit one of them head-on, knocking Sai Yong's entire body backwards by 100 kilometers. The Moshe clansman's strongest trump card. Illusionary 7 Blades, Burial. Before coming to Blood River World, his strongest move was the Dutchman's Pipe. And because of how the Golden Hornet Beast had been studying the first claw, and had fast comprehension of it, this first claw became Luo Feng's strongest move. The first claw was very similar to Burial. Studying the first claw had made his comprehension of Burial soar. After 80 years, this move instead became the Moshe clansman's strongest move. Burial. Why Burial? Using one's full strength, even sacrificing himself to unleash the most brutal and intrepid attack. It was incredibly powerful. Sai Yong, who was knocked back, had an ugly expression. Looking at the 4 shields before him, his eyes focused once more. I was actually forced to use my world, defensive weapons and spirit weapons all in a short amount of time. This. Before this, Sai Yong never would have thought that he'd be forced by a domain lord to use all his tricks. Yaya. Sai Yong's entire face was flushed red. He roared and stared at the distant Luo Feng. Punk, I'll let you know that a domain level cannot defeat a world level. It's just impossible. The surface of the ocean was roaring, and the many blocks of ice floating there were flying about, and the owner of this world, Sai Yong, was floating in mid-air. He currently had a very troubled expression. Obviously in this short time, this domain lord had forced him into such a state of rage. It was humiliating, a sector lord's humiliation. Words are useless. Luo Feng was dressed in black. Standing far in the distance, his body once again became a blur, and through the Moshe clansman's use of illusionary techniques movement, it was like a fish in water. His close combat instantaneous acceleration far exceeded that of this sector lord. An illusion appeared. Sai Yong immediately retreated. Explode. Sai Yong roared. Immediately, the 2 black and white alls before him let out a glaring light. The surroundings about the white all became extremely cold and froze into ice. Snow was fluttering about. The area surrounding the black all, however, howled, as the black water took shape, making the black all like a black dragon. Rumble. A black water dragon and a white ice dragon interweaved about, even shaking the entire world. The endless world energy poured into these 2 dragons, of which the black dragon was filled with endless energy, while the white was filled with absolute killing intent. This move was called the Dual Dragon Pierce. It was Sai Yong's trump card from studying the water origin laws. While maybe his comprehension levels didn't compare to Luo Feng's, however it was still infused with origin laws. Also, in terms of pure power and the world pressure, his advantage was obvious. Rumble. The 2 dragons flew around each other like a huge electric drill, immediately creating an image, and reaching right before Luo Feng. That speed, it's so fast. Luo Feng, who was moving at his max speed, looked at the black and ice dragon that seemed to reach him in an instant. He became a blur for a moment before changing his direction and dodging. Simultaneously a 6-edged shield appeared before him, defending him. That push from the shield seemed simple enough, however it was almost as though the entire space was pushed back. Rumble. The black and ice dragons that were weaving in and out together were affected by the space pressure. Due to this, they clashed into the 6-edged shield, and as they clashed, the 2 dragons exploded with terrifying power, knocking Luo Feng far back, as fresh blood spurt from his mouth. At this point, the 6-edged shield too was knocked far away. The core of the 2 dragons, the black and white alls, revealed their true state and pierced straight at Luo Feng. Luo Feng, who was in mid-air, immediately dodged. Over 10k images appeared in the surroundings. Clash, explode and pierce. Luo Feng looked at his hand below. The left arm, which was completely broken from holding the shield earlier, was bloody, however black energy was wrapped around it, and in an instant, it completely recovered. After infusing with the origin laws, world energy, and an entire world behind this attack, when the 2 spirit weapons combined, this move is extremely powerful. Sai Yong, who was floating in mid-air, looked delighted initially. However, right after he began to rage. Howling, you still aren't dead. I don't believe you can't die. Go. Sai Yong howled, his face was pale as he pointed with gritted teeth, seemingly using his full concentration to control the spirit weapons. Rumble. The two oars immediately formed an arc and the air about them once again concentrated into an icy aura, and the ice dragon, while the other black one had black water surrounding it, forming a black water dragon. It was even clearer than the earlier move. The two dragons' claws, horns and wings were complete this time. Go and die, die, die. Sai Yong was completely immersed in madness. Howl. Howl. The two huge dragons howled through the surroundings. Who knew whether it was them howling, or just the sound waves generated from their extreme speed? The two lifelike dragons spiraled, their tails waving about, claws glistening in the light, their bodies rushed forward and immediately countless images vanished. Luo Feng was finally forced into a difficult situation. There's an absolute difference of at least 10 times. He has the world to help him, along with comprehension of water laws. This is a spirit reader that's extremely hard to deal with. Even with this Mosha body, it's a very taxing to battle. However, only this can be considered a challenge. Luo Feng moved as fast as he could. The Mosha clansmen was the strongest assassins in the universe. They were proficient in stealth killings, and the illusionary techniques was just one path for it. The illusionary techniques combined with the Mosha clansmen's illusions was an absolute combo. Under Sai Yong's mad howls, even though Luo Feng was injured time and again, he still managed to survive. As for the injuries, the Mosha clansman's body was an energy life form, its wounds could recover swiftly. Kai. Luo Feng spit out fresh blood again, once again dodging. The flash of a blade was clawed away by the ice dragon, its claw was completely destroyed, however, it quickly reformed. And as Luo Feng was knocked away, he dodged and once again vanished. How can this be? Why is he still not dead? Sai Yong stared wide-eyed. With a struggling expression, he said, he's only at domain level, and I am at world level. Just what ghostly movement allows him to move that quickly and so unpredictably? Getting injured time and again, yet it has no effect at all. Sai Yong floated in mid-air controlling the two spirit weapons to attack Luo Feng. Obviously he had the upper hand, however he was still unable to achieve victory. He was pressuring Luo Feng over and over, but Luo Feng seemed fine. That movement was ghostly, and his attacks were as terrifying as before. This made Sai Yong extremely troubled. I can only shrink the area. After that, the area I need to focus my attacks in will be smaller. This way, the efficiency will be higher. Sai Yong realized the problem. As the area they were fighting in was too huge, it allowed Luo Feng to easily dodge 10 kilometers away, and flash about hundreds of times. With such a huge space, when Luo Feng unleashed his movement, the two spirit weapons naturally couldn't achieve victory. Rumble. The two huge dragons retreated and stayed close to Sai Yong. Luo Feng would be attacked within a 100 kilometers diameter area before. However, now with them retreating, only when Luo Feng entered a 30 kilometers diameter area around Sai Yong was he attacked. The area was smaller. Naturally the efficiency was higher. Smart, you finally realized the problem. Having been forced back time and again, unable to even approach Sai Yong, Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. He immediately rushed at Sai Yong, and as he did, the two spirit weapons didn't even budge. As he drew closer, however, only then did they howl out. The reduced battle area made the two dragons instantly close their distance with Luo Feng, making it taxing on Luo Feng to dodge. Rumble. One clash made Luo Feng's entire body tremble, and fresh blood spurted from his mouth, nose and even ears. He could only retreat and dodge. Ha ha ha. Seeing the obvious advantage, Sai Yong laughed loudly. A world level is a world leader, a domain level is just a domain level. No matter how much of a genius you are, you'll still die without a doubt. Luo Feng dodged time and again drawing closer to Sai Yong. The smaller battle area had its pros and cons. The good thing was that with his speed at close distance, he could occasionally get close to Sai Yong. The bad part was, the closer he got, the faster the attacks were even and the reaction time was shorter. Almost like a ghostly flash, he closed in the 30 kilometers distance and instantly reaching about 100 m away from Sai Yong. Sai Yong controlled his four-sided shield and simultaneously used his two spirit weapons to surround and attack Luo Feng. I didn't believe that with such close distance, you will be able to withstand up to 3 attacks. But 10 to 100 attacks. Sai Yong howled. Burial. Luo Feng roared softly, unleashing his strongest move. The grey flash of the blade was brutal, instantly slicing through 10 m of distance, and slashed at Sai Yong. The power of that flash, the intrepid energy was simply terrifying. The surrounding space around it was completely controlled. The flash headed forward and had a hint of gold light. Illusionary 7 blades, burial. It's useless. Sai-Yong laughed. Rumble. His two-sided shield came over to block. The first side was knocked back, but the second managed to block the blade. Rumble. The two dragons howled from behind, attacking Luo Feng. The blade had yet to have any effect. Luo Feng squinted and immediately released the blade in his hand. His right hand suddenly grew longer. It was originally a normal human arm. In an instant it grew and pierced swiftly towards the shield, extending over 10 m long. Its life crystal too was within that right arm. Rumble. The two huge dragons clashed into his body and it immediately exploded, fresh blood and bones scattering. What? Sai-Yong looked at the sudden growth of the right arm that extended and was extremely shocked. How did his arm grow so long? Is it from the armor? It's useless, his body has been destroyed. Even if the life crystal is okay, without a flesh body to trigger it, it's unable to trigger sufficient energy. Sai-Yong was calm. Triggering energy required passing through the backbone and muscles etc. Once the body was destroyed, leaving only a broken arm, what was the use? The blade flashed and instantly sliced through Sai-Yong's neck, piercing into his body and scanning within. It pierced straight into the life core and broke it. How is that possible? Sai-Yong stared wide-eyed. How can a fake hand extended from the armor unleash such terrifying blade work? Once the body is destroyed, how can it even attack with power? Before dying, many thoughts passed through Sai-Yong's mind, following which, he crumbled and his consciousness faded. The two huge dragons immediately crumbled and fell, revealing two spirit weapons. The world around too crumbled and the endless ocean dissolved, revealing a decimated mountain range. The spirit weapons fell from mid-air, the shield too followed suit. Sai-Yong was defeated. Kai. That broken arm instantly wrapped itself with black energy, and as the energy gathered, it became a black-clothed Luo Feng. His eyes were filled with fatigue, however also with ecstasy and excitement. I've succeeded. Luo Feng lowered his gaze to look at Sai-Yong's body. Thinking within, a true human, if their body was destroyed, they can only use spirit attacks, and not close-quarters physical attacks. However, the Mosha clansman is an energy life form. If I wanted to, I could change to tens of millions of things, much less a broken limb. I can even change into a cloud contact vine, a stone, and I'd still be able to attack. The Mosha clansman could transform into almost anything, be it humans, bones, muscles, skin, the internal organs, hair, eyes and nose etc. All would be exactly similar to that of a real human. Even if it got injured and its bones broke, the impact causing blood to be spit out, everything was exactly like that of a real human. And if it changed to a golden horned beast. Similarly, every scale, horn, even the engravings on the scales. Of course, the larger the size, the more energy it required. Even if the Mosha clansman transformed into the golden horned beast, it would only be a 10-meter huge golden horned beast. If it wanted to transform to tens of kilometer, hundreds of kilometer like the mountain range like huge beast, the energy within the life crystal would be depleted very quickly. Night, the cold winds blew. The mountain range was reduced to a wasteland. Black-clothed Luo Feng gazed down below. I actually used the Mosha body to kill Sai-Yong. Luo Feng was excited. Even though the Mosha clansman is strong, it's still after all strong in assassination only. During a true 1v1 battle like this, there are many stronger than the Mosha clansman. If it were the 12 pinnacle bloodlines of the space beasts, which of them weren't incomparably intrepid? And just like the ancient beast in the ancient pictures in Blood River World, which was just as intrepid. And the pinnacle of the bug clan in the universe, the mother nest, and the metal life forms, plant life forms, the powerful existences, these were all beings comparable to the golden horned beast. All of them were incredibly intrepid. The Mosha clansman is strong in assassination. Actually, I only required to kill one of his disciples and transform into him. Then using the natural ability to imitate that disciple's energy. Luo Feng thought, that way, even if I stood before Sai-Yong, he wouldn't sense any problem at all. When I get close, with him defenseless, I'll kill him in an instant. That would be much easier than fighting it out like before. Luo Feng was clear. Allowing the Mosha clansman to assassinate Sai-Yong wouldn't have been a challenge at all. The main thing was its natural ability to duplicate was simply too sick. Completely imitating a person, not just in appearances, but in energy too. One wouldn't even detect anything. Even in the vast universe, with countless races, the Mosha clan still struck fear in all these races as the most terrifying assassins. If its natural ability wasn't so powerful, it wouldn't have gotten the name universe's strongest assassins. I was able to kill him. Even though it was partially due to Sai-Yong's poor comprehension of the laws, however with the gap in our power, I still succeeded. It also shows that my improvement over these 80 years was huge. Luo Feng was happy within. Gazing below at the decimated mountain range, as Sai Yong's internal world crumbled, large amounts of treasures were scattered throughout. Luo Feng collected Sai Yong's space item and placed the valuable treasures casually within. As for the others, how much wealth could a sector lord have? In the universe, one with 10 mixed elements was already wealthy. Much less the aboriginals of this Blood River world, only very few were worthy of Luo Feng's attention. The other items, added together, were far from one mixed element's worth. With Luo Feng's status, whatever he needed all used points after all. He rushed into the sky, leaving behind the decimated mountain range and Sai Yong's body, along with large amounts of treasure that he wasn't even interested in, or were worthless to him. However, within half a day after his departure, a team had discovered the area with the items. A few domain lords were going crazy over them, and this team madly began to compete and kill amongst themselves. Sai Yong's death. Immediately, the surrounding large world leaders began their attacks to snatch the territory. Sai Yong's power quickly faded into dust. There wasn't even anyone trying to avenge him, much less go after Naku and Nabu. This is what Big Brother Feng left for us. The silver-haired youth Naku brought his father finally to a hiding place to rest. Only then did he open the space ring to check, shocked. What's the matter? Nabu was curious. Big Brother Feng left us a large amount of wealth. So much more than our family's wealth from before, millions of times more. Naku was shocked. Nabu's eyes gleamed immediately. Ha ha, our Na family will rise up again, stronger and bigger than before. With this wealth, it'll be easy from now. Naku, our gamble back then was right. Naku nodded, worrying within about Luo Feng. Big Brother Feng said he'd go stop Sai Yong. However, later on, when the news of Sai Yong's death spread, especially the location of his death, Naku and Nabu were overwhelmed with shock. Obviously, the place where Sai Yong died was where Luo Feng was waiting before. Big Brother Feng killed Sai Yong. Lord Feng killed Sai Yong. Naku and Nabu were shocked. As for whatever happened later in Blood River World, Luo Feng naturally didn't know. After killing Sai Yong, Moshe Luo Feng rushed into the sky back into the automaton ship and began his departure. Blood River World. Standing in the control room, he looked back at the endless vast continent. This was a place completely subdued and observed by the Virtual Universe Company. Here's where we part, little Naku. Once I reach Domain Lord level, I'll be sent into territories as an envoy around the universe. At Sector Lord level, I'll be going through hellish training too. I'm afraid I won't return for a very, very long time. I hope that when I eventually do, I'll still be able to see you. Luo Feng knew. It would probably be tens of thousands of years before he could actually return. However, with regards to Blood River World, he was still filled with curiosity. There would eventually be a day when he would return to investigate everything properly. The fog covered the distant space, an incomparably huge palace floated there, that was Tiansha Palace. Because of this palace's existence, the many powerful warriors of Blood River World didn't dare leave. Since the ancient times till now, they were all stuck within their world. The palace in space was larger than even a planet. At this time a little dot flew out from the palace and swiftly headed towards Luo Feng's automaton ship. It was a triangular black ship with a diameter of 800 meter. Your Majesty Luo Feng, how are you? I am the receiver of Tiansha Palace, Missouri Luoka. Congratulations on your Majesty's completion of the Blood River World mission. The ship drew closer to Luo Feng's automaton ship, sending a message over. Very quickly, with the ship leading, Luo Feng arrived within a vast hall in the first level of Tiansha Palace. The hall was at least 1,000 kilometers in length and width. Luo Feng kept his automaton ship and stood shocked within the hall. In this hall, there were many other ships stopped there, taking up more than half of the area. Every ship, according to his visual perception, were at least E-grade ships. Some of the ships were even F-grade. Your Majesty Luo Feng. Dressed in silver armor with 6 eyes and blue skin, the Sector Lord Mo Luo Ku stood beside and lead the way. Speaking fluent universe language, his voice was very clear and resounding. You actually stayed in Blood River World for 80 years. That's really shocking. The main thing was the Blood Warrior mission. Luo Feng smiled as he walked. Different from Blood River World, even though there were many races within that world, most of them looked pretty similar. However, the human races were too many in the universe. With countless races, all sorts of appearances were present. Blood Warrior mission. Has your Majesty completed it? Mo Luo Ku was shocked. Luo Feng nodded. Wow, congratulations Your Majesty. Mo Luo Ku smiled. I've seen and received many geniuses who've attempted this mission, even those from the Huge Axe and Universe Mercenary Alliance. However, very few are actually able to become blood warriors. Because, absorbing 3 blood river crystals normally required them to stay in the ancient god ruins for extended periods. Many of them don't have that much patience. And it's also very dangerous within the ruins. Luo Feng nodded. The two walked and chatted. Even though they weren't rushing, in a few minutes, they had passed a 1,000 kilometers distance swiftly and arrived at the stairs of the second floor. The stairway was incredibly vast. Every level was 100-meter high, 10 kilometers long and 5 kilometers wide. It was entirely made of ceramic. Each stairway had at least 1,000 levels, spiraling upwards. We can only proceed from here to head upstairs. Sector Lord Mo Luo Ku smiled. The two became beams of light and followed the stairs upwards. There's no need to head up right. Just arrange a universe ship for me and send me off, wouldn't that do? Luo Feng asked. It's our leader of the Tianxia Palace, he wishes to see you. Mo Luo Ku said. The leader? Luo Feng was shocked. Tianxia Palace's leader, what status was that? He was someone who was watching over in this palace. The many powerful beings of Blood River World, and even amongst the Virtual Universe Company, he would definitely be considered an absolute being in the upper echelon. Sector Lord Mo Luo Ku's eyes were filled with envy. Smiling, I've been in this palace for so many years, I've yet to meet him face to face. Our leader has unbelievable power. With just him being here, those undyings from the Undying Shrine in Blood River World, and all the ancient beings, none of them dare come out. For the leader to wish to see you, is your good luck. Why does he wish to see me? Luo Feng was curious. The leader of Tianxia Palace, that level of being, he was at least a universe country leader level, or even stronger. How else could he control Blood River World with fear? To the geniuses, that level of being didn't care much for them at all. These beings were all ancient eternal beings within the universe. The reason behind him wanting to meet you. Why would I, such a small figure, know? Sector Lord Mo Luo Ku smiled. My authority is only to send you to the second level. I don't even dare to follow after. However, there will be someone there to receive you and take you straight to the 9th level to meet the leader. The moment he finished speaking, the two arrived at the second level of the palace. Luo Feng gazed far ahead and spotted a 3M tall messy-haired man with a huge axe on his back. Vaguely, that man was almost like a tall mountain that made hearts tremble. The energy he emitted seemed even more terrifying than the God General 13 from back in Ganwu Universe Country. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.